If you love someone, let them go. It's a phrase we've all heard before. The idea that truly caring about someone means wanting what's best for them, even if it means they're not with you. It's one of the most mature forms of love, putting someone else's happiness above your own. And few films capture that feeling as gently as Liz and the Bluebird. There's a strange feeling you get at the start of the movie, something that warms your heart yet quietly breaks it at the same time. It's the very definition of bittersweet. From the opening moments, you sense that it's gonna tug at your heartstrings. The film doesn't try to hide that either. It tells you exactly what it's about through its two main characters. Nozomi is bright, popular, and full of life. Mizore is quiet, shy, and alone. Their contrast mirrors the emotions you'll feel throughout the story. Joy and sadness, connection and distance, love and loss. And right at the beginning, Nozomi shares a children's book, the story of Liz and the Bluebird. It's about a young woman named Liz who lives alone until one day a mysterious girl appears. The two become close friends and live happily together, but in the end, they have to go their separate ways. The girl turns out to be a bluebird, and Liz has to learn to let her go so she can fly freely. It's a simple, cute story, and one that quietly foreshadows everything to come. Actually, not so quietly, because from that moment you can basically sense where the movie is gonna go. But Liz and the Bluebird isn't some grand dramatic epic meant to keep you on the edge of your seat. It's a quiet, deeply human movie, one that invites us to reflect, to relate, and to feel the beauty in letting go. Liz and the Bluebird is actually a spin-off of the series Sound Euphonium, and while watching that might give you a little bit more context, you don't need to have seen Sound Euphonium to understand or appreciate it. I haven't seen the show myself, but I still found this movie super easy to follow and super enjoyable. The film was actually written by Reiko Yoshida and directed by Naoko Yamada, the same creative duo behind A Silent Voice. Let me say that again, A Silent Voice, one of the best anime movies ever. And honestly, if that's not enough to get you to watch this, then I don't know what will. The same level of care, attention, and emotional depth that went into A Silent Voice is present here. And it's probably even more finely tuned because this did come out 2 years after A Silent Voice. Even the same composer from A Silent Voice returns, creating a soundscape that feels just as delicate and emotionally charged. Everything that worked so well in A Silent Voice feels like it's been built upon and perfected in Liz and the Bluebird. It's a wonderful film, and if you haven't seen it yet, go watch it before continuing because I'll be talking about it in full detail here, so consider this your spoiler warning. And while you're at it, if you like this kind of content, make sure to subscribe. I do both spoiler and non-spoiler reviews along with film analysis videos like this one, so if that's your vibe, then hit that button and let's keep going. The story follows Mizore and Nozomi, two high school girls in their school's concert band. They've been friends for years and both play an important part in an upcoming performance, a piece inspired by the story of Liz and the Bluebird. Mizore plays the oboe while Nozomi plays the flute, and together they perform a duet that becomes the emotional centerpiece of the film. Through this duet, the movie mirrors their friendship, two voices intertwined trying to stay in harmony while moving in different directions. As they prepare for the concert, their relationship begins to resemble the story within the music, a tale of two friends who eventually part ways. What starts as simple practice sessions slowly turns into something much more personal, a reflection on love, identity, and the pain of letting go. At its heart, Liz and the Bluebird is about learning to let go of someone you love. Not because you've stopped caring, but because you love them enough to want them to grow, even if that means growing apart from you. Mizore loves Nozomi deeply, and it's debated whether it's like a real romantic kind of love or just friendship kind of love. But Yamada stated in an interview that whether Mizore is romantically in love with her or not doesn't really matter. She just wanted to show how amplified feelings are when you are a teenager. Mizore admires Nozomi, depends on her, and defines so much of her world around their friendship. To Mizore, Nozomi is the reason she plays music, the reason she shows up, the reason she feels seen. But that kind of love, as pure as it is, can also hold someone back. As the story unfolds, Mizore slowly realizes that her attachment to Nozomi, her need to keep her close at all times, might actually be preventing both of them from moving forward. It's a painful realization. A realization that sometimes the people who mean the most to us aren't meant to stay forever. And that's what makes the ending so powerful. Mizore's act of letting go isn't about losing Nozomi, it's about setting both Nozomi and, more importantly, herself free. That's the biggest and most beautiful message of the film. Whether it's a friend, a partner, or someone we've shared years of memories with, it's hard to imagine life without them. But love isn't possession. Love is wanting what's best for the other person, even if it means you won't be a part of that future. When we try so desperately to hold on to a relationship that's run its course, we only end up hurting the other person or ourselves. This idea is expressed so beautifully through both the story of Liz and the Blue Bird and the relationship between Mizore and Nozomi. In the story, the blue bird turned human can never fly as long as she's with Liz. Whether intentional or not, Liz is keeping the bird in a cage, holding her back from growing. And for most of the movie, we believe Mizore is Liz, the one holding on, and Nozomi is the bird who will eventually leave. But by the end, we realize that it's the opposite. Nozomi is Liz and Mizore is the bird. Mizore loves Nozomi so much that she can't imagine life without her. But in doing so, she's not allowing herself to spread her own wings. Nozomi, on the other hand, musically isn't as skilled as Mizore, and Mizore has been holding back so she doesn't overshadow her. It's not until they both understand that they need to let each other go that they're finally able to grow, both as musicians and as individuals. I've had times in friendships and relationships where I've been both Mizore and Nozomi. I've been in situations that grew so distant that I realized that I was holding the other person back. And I've been on the other side, clinging to someone out of love, even though I knew I was the one being held back. And sometimes it's not as toxic or harmful as these examples. Sometimes friends just grow apart, and that's okay. It's okay to end relationships on a good note. And by ending a relationship, I'm not saying cut them off completely. I'm just saying that sometimes when you become distant, you don't have to force something that's not there. If you don't have that same spark, that same chemistry, then it's okay, don't force it. Liz and the Blue Bird challenges us to really listen to that phrase from the beginning of the video. If you love someone, let them go. And when we do, we learn that letting go doesn't mean forgetting or stopping love. It means accepting that people grow, and that sometimes the kindest thing we can do is give them the space to fly. Naoka Yamada captures these emotions through the smallest and quietest details. The sounds of footsteps echoing, the way the camera lingers on certain shots, and the subtle space between them as they walk. You'll notice that Mizore is always behind Nozomi, always looking at her back, always chasing. Every single one of these moments says something unspoken. Each tiny movement, each pause feels intentional. Even silence becomes its own kind of dialogue. It speaks for them when they can't find the words. The way Mizore longingly looks at Nozomi. The way Nozomi turns away quickly. Without any words, we know how the characters feel and what they're trying to say. The soft watercolor tones, the careful pacing, and the delicate framing that make the world feel so fragile, like a memory that could fade if you touch it. Yamada's direction shows that emotion doesn't always need to be loud to be powerful. By focusing on stillness, she turns the smallest gestures, a glance, a step, a single note of music, into entire conversations. It's a masterclass in visual storytelling, showing us that sometimes the most powerful emotions aren't shouted, they're whispered. And maybe that's what makes Liz and the Blue Bird stick with you long after it ends. It doesn't tell you what to feel, it lets you feel it on your own. It leaves you sitting in the silence, reflecting on your own Liz, your own Blue Bird, the person you once had to let go of, or maybe the person you need to let go of right now. But what's beautiful about the ending is that Mizore and Nozomi's story doesn't fade into sadness. The entire time Nozomi talks about the story of Liz and the Blue Bird, she says that she doesn't like the ending and she wished it had a happier ending. So, in the end, they don't drift apart completely. They're still friends. At the end, they go to get coffee together, but it's different now. They've both grown and the air between them feels lighter. Liz and the Blue Bird doesn't end with heartbreak. It ends with understanding. It reminds us that letting go doesn't always mean saying goodbye. Sometimes it means finding a new, healthier way to stay connected. In the end, Liz and the Blue Bird teaches us that love isn't about holding tighter, it's about learning when to let go. Because sometimes letting go isn't the end of love, it's proof of it. When you let go of someone you care about, you give both of you the chance to grow, to find new melodies, new connections, and new parts of yourself you didn't know existed. It's painful to let go. Trust me, it's painful. But it's also beautiful. So the next time you're facing that impossible choice, remember this story and that simple phrase we've all heard before. If you love someone, let them go. Because maybe, just like Mizore and Nozomi, that's the only way both of you can finally learn to fly. And that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it to the end, give me a like, and leave a comment. Tell me what you thought about this movie, and if you have any other movie recommendations, I would love them all. And yeah, my name is Sway. I like anime, and peace.